It's called an Oxford comma for a reason, because Oxford is a place and a university in England where the English language originated. So.
Oh, I thought you were saying it originated in Oxford. I was about to be like, slow down, my dude. You might have to.
English as a language developed only in Oxford, and then just spread out across the rest of the British Isles.
Okay. Any counter arguments, Jared?
I believe that. I don't think that is a double use of the word "and." I think it's to be clerical, and I think that we need to stick to one way of doing it, so that we have that united clarity. And I do think that every language is different. Like, in other languages, there's different rules than there are in other languages.
I think it is a tool of the man to bring us down, and he's trying to create this conformity, right? Because that's what you were saying, is part of the reason to do this is to conform. Using the Oxford comma is just a form of conformity that rips us apart.
Are you insinuating that the comma is a metaphor for ripping apart words, like that rips apart us as human beings?
Yeah.
You know what's true conformity? Taking apart the small but necessary aspects of our language and breaking it down into much more simpler and dumber terms that have that a person is unable to express much through them. Like Newspeak from 1984.
Oh no,
They don't need any commas in that language.
He just broke into the George Orwell.
Yeah, I love that book so much. It inspires so much.
How else can I filibuster this argument in 30 minutes? Well,
Filibuster, go.
Filibuster. Did you know socialism
Here we go.
is actually how we're going to rid the world of weeds? Once the government has full control, they can remove all of the weeds simultaneously with helicopters. How helicopters, you say? Helicopters are basically weed whackers when turned upside down. So here's how the government will do it once we give over all of our money via socialism. We take... Ira, are you okay? We take 6 helicopters and chain them all together. 5 helicopters lift the 1 helicopter. The 1 helicopter that is being lifted is going to be upside down with its blade turning to the grass and the weeds. The 5 other helicopters will keep it in the air. And if any small animals or children get caught in the way, that is the price of perfect lawn care.
Now, Seth, let me ask you this. How many commas do you think were in that sentence you just had, and how many of those do you think were Oxford commas?
Too many, my good sir. Too many.
At first I thought you meant just to let the helicopters fly upside down, which, by the way, is how helicopters crash.
No, I am much smarter than that.
But then you mentioned lifting up 1 helicopter and so forth. But still, there are easier ways to have lawn care.
I have not heard of such ways, as I always use child safety scissors in my lawn for the safety of it.
And do you measure each blade of grass to the exact millimeter?
And I have done that all of my life, and today I say, safety be darned, we shall use helicopters.
See, if you really, really want to maintain a lawn as crazily and efficiently as possible, just use lasers and burn the tips of the grass.
I really like that plan. Let's go with his plan. What do you think, Jared? I think the helicopter would
Better
be fun,
yet,
though.
one gigantic spread out of radiation that has that only, but it only like burns the grass to a certain extent, but it's still a large blast.
That is
I
a
think
great
we should
idea.
use Oxford commas to get rid of the excess grass.
You know what? All of the ink that we save by not using Oxford commas, we could have, we could just spread ink over the whole land, and then all of the weeds in the ground would die from soaking up the ink. That sweet, sweet Oxford comma.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure dandelions would survive.
Dandelion, yeah, they're
Those
resilient
suckers will
little.
survive everything.
They are resilient little fellows.
I forgot what we were arguing about.
Oxford commas. Are they good or are they whack? I tried to argue they were whack. I have failed, and now I still have 9 minutes to fill.
So pineapple and pizza?
We're gonna save that for the next debate. We just gotta stretch these topics out as far as we can, because I keep, my list runs pretty short.
So, yeah, how about those Oxford commas?
Admittedly, they're pretty cool. Have you seen those things where people, like, intentionally leave them out?
No?
Oh, they're great. Hang on, let me look them up. Or at least ones where people just leave out regular commas. Or as I like to call them, real commas.
As opposed to Oxford commas, which are not real commas?
Yes.
Even though they're just basically commas in a certain place.
I think the reason that they added that they're called Oxford commas is because the non-Oxford commas people were controversial and decided to try to be cool. And like, we're going to get rid of them. You know what? They were wrong. That's an ugly face.
I just saw something that was not good. Oh, good. This one is much less clean. Or sorry, much more clean.
I was about to say.
With the Oxford comma, we invited Rhinoceri, Washington, and Lincoln. 3 different groups. The Rhinoceri, Washington, and Lincoln. Without the Oxford comma, it reads, we invited the Rhinoceri, comma, Washington and Lincoln, implying that these presidents were in fact big gray boys.
Oh wait, I know the other one that you turned your face up to.
Yeah, we're not going to mention that one on the podcast.
Well, you see people. I'm just kidding. Just look it up on Google, you'll find it.
Hey, we're getting really good at
Well, I know.
filibustering, that's for sure.
Also, here's something else that I hoped I could find. Punctuation saves lives. Let's eat kids is much different than let's eat, comma, kids. Or stop clubbing baby seals. Stop clubbing, comma, baby seals. We know them baby seals like to turn up.
I've seen one that says, help a thief, and then it was, the cop was helping the thief, and she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, commas, lady.
23 minutes. How are your weeks?
I have no idea. It's been fine.
You
No.
sound pretty unsure of that.
I'm pretty beat. Now, here's another thing that we need to talk about. It's Saturday night right now. Does that mean it's the end of the week? Or the day before the end of the week?
This is a nice mini topic, I agree. I believe because Sunday is the Sabbath, the Lord's Day, when you go to church, that it is the refreshing fuel you need to begin the next week.
I believe, I used to think it was the start of the week, but upon looking at it further, I do believe that Sunday is the end of the week. God made earth in 6 days, and then on the 7th day, he rested. Thereby, the day that we rest is the 7th day of the week, not the first day of the week.
So to go from a less religious perspective, I think Sunday's the end of the week, mostly because everything always just starts up again on Monday as a new thing, and people will always base their weeks off of let's see, you got Mondays, like everything starting on Monday, and then you look forward to going on to Friday and Saturday at the end of the week. So yeah, school starts on Monday. Most work starts up again on Monday, unless you have those other kinds of jobs.
Now, my good sir. Don't you see what you have done in terms of your placement of value in this world? You have put it upon school, and jobs, and other monetary trash, like all of the money spent on Oxford commas.
What?
I mean, technically, our calendar is also somewhat wrong in terms of how they space out the months, because
And the calendars put Sunday as the beginning of the week.
yeah, exactly. So you don't have to go. You don't have to.
So
If
let's
you
go-
personally desired that the week began on Tuesday because Taco Tuesday is the highlight of your existence,
Oh,
then feel free to say that the beginning of your week is on Tuesday because that's the day you feel most alive and ready for the challenges of life ahead. Because tacos.
he's got me beat there, Jared.
Yeah,
Help
and you know what?
defend me.
Also,
It is subjective.
Seth, also, if you wanted to argue that people put the calendar as Sunday in the beginning of the week, then we'll bring in those people here and then we'll debate them too, because Sunday is the end of the week, not the beginning of the week.
But let's just say with everything, you have a beginning and an end, and both times they are at rest. This is reflected by the structure of our weeks. There's a beginning of rest, and then work, and then rest again. Even my words work that way. We have breath, which is nice and silent, and then a word, and then an exhale of peace.
Wouldn't it make sense though that your rest day is the day, the rest day, your rest day is in the week that you are resting from. So if your rest day is at the end of your week, you rest after you do your work. So wouldn't that mean that your rest day is in the same week that you did all of your work that you're resting from? So all the work that I did this week, I'm resting from tomorrow in the same week of my rest day of this week.
As Jared has confused me, I shall not render his argument as valid. It was actually just because of all the words. I understood what you were saying. Yeah, you're resting from the week.
You're resting from the week.
Yeah.
I was about to say, if you're going to put down someone's argument on the basis that you don't understand it, this is why we are not currently on Mars right now, and humanity is still in the Dark Ages, sitting on their planet.
It's because of me
and polluting everything.
And my incessant filibustering.
Filibustering.
Well, maybe next time we'll have an argument that I'm actually compelled to defend. Or I will be on the side of an argument I'm compelled to defend. Gotta watch my precision of language, especially as this is a Big Brain Time debate podcast. Signing off.
Bye.